Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
These marriages are not perfect, but all in all, they seem to work. Marriage is an institution for grown-ups.
It's like a love-hate relationship.
There are no bosses in a modern marriage. He knows he's lucky to have a wife.
Feels like we've not been in here for ages.
Yeah, it does.
I just had a look around, just a quick sweep as the room as the jingle's on, then I thought, I like it in here.
I've missed it.
Yeah, I've missed it.
Yeah.
It's a little cove, innit? It's a little covey cave. Hello, everybody. It's Simon here. Laura over there.
Hello.
I'm in jogging shorts and a T-shirt and flip-flops.
Nice.
Laura.
You know I like you in jogging. Today I have a full outfit on.
Full outfit on.
Yeah.
Well done, you. We're both drinking... What have you got?
I've gone for chamomile.
You're on chamomile tea. I'm on forest fruits green tea.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm not northern. And it feels like forever, but we've been saying pretty much every day we must get into a podcast.
Yeah, it's because it's out of routine, isn't it?
And that's the thing is, we were on a routine, so we need to get back into that routine, and I promise we will try and do it anyway. So episode 20, loads to talk about today. Mm-hmm. Something that's happened since last time, which I bet you've even forgot about, is, what do you think I'm going to say?
Is it about me?
It's about us. It's about something that we've talked about on the podcast. It's about us.
It's about us. No, I have no idea.
You've been a little plucker.
I am a little plucker.
Yeah. And early podcast devotees will know that you've been at my eyebrows trying to get the what you call the Clarksons, which I find offensive. I have a couple of sticky outy eyebrows.
Yeah, and they started to get grey, those sticky out ones. The rest of your eyebrow isn't, but those two that were sticking out were grey and getting curly.
So I'll let you do. How many did you do? 4 or 5?
Yeah, I think I did a couple on each.
Yeah, you had a couple of misfires as well, so the number went up a bit because it still hurts when you misfire.
Have you noticed, though, I have not commented since I've done it?
Yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah, see? What a difference it's made.
So that happened since last time.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as you thought, was it? See?
It was, actually, yeah. It every bit as much as I expected it to.
Oh, you're such a wimp.
You did one slow.
I did,
and
yeah.
I just wanted to kill you because it's like the worst thing. I'm back dieting. We should talk about that, I reckon, because really it's all got me f***ing life these days. So the reason I'm doing it is because we had another stay at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
In Dubai. And the bathroom in Caesar's Palace has got mirrors on every wall. So we went a few weeks ago for some work-related stay and we had a bath together. And I wanted to kill myself when I saw what I looked like in all these mirrors because I've put a lot of weight on. This is a constant in my life, innit? I'm constantly going on about it. But I also comfort eat because I've got depression. I can't stand a lot of things. So we went back to the hotel.
We did, yeah.
The room we were in this time, beautiful room. This was just for a proper stay. And we'd had a swim. We were going to Hell's Kitchen for some food. And I went into the bathroom to have a shower. And it was like a wet room shower. But again, mirrors on every side.
Everywhere, yeah.
So you see yourself from angles that you're not used to seeing yourself from.
Yeah, it's like, when you go sometimes into a changing room and there's mirrors on every wall. And you're like, oh, I look terrible in this outfit.
I've not come out of a changing room not depressed for probably 15 years. I was so down in the dumps about seeing myself in this mirror. I just got so down and I'm like, right, I've got to start.
Yeah.
So I'm just coming up to the end of my first week.
You've done all right.
Dieting, exercising every day, got the Apple Watch back on, swimming every day. I've become a lap lane wanker. Middle-aged men, we were talking about this yesterday, weren't we? Middle-aged men become, I think women do it as well, but middle-aged men become like cycling wankers, lycra wankers.
No, a lot of all of these, yeah.
Dubai is full of golf wankers.
Loads of golf.
So many golf wankers. And I've got people I like, but then I know the golf wankers, and I'm like, that knocks you down the ladder a few steps.
Yeah, the whole golf thing.
I like playing golf, but if it wasn't so much associated with nouveau riche bourgeois wankers,
whatever that is, yep.
Yeah, then I like playing golf. I love the game. I like hitting the ball. I used to play quite a bit when I was a kid. I couldn't do it here.
I wonder if, we do have golf mums out here as well.
Yeah.
But but also I think it's like the gym.
I think there's golf mum wankers out here,
there are,
definitely.
but the gym mums as well.
Gym
like,
wankers.
well, yeah, men and women, yeah.
We've got swimming pools. We've got a pool in our back garden, but it's only, you measured it, how big is it?
Our pool?
Yeah.
8 metres.
8 metre pool, right? So it's not big enough to do laps in, lengths. But we live in an area that has public swimming pools for all to use. Mm-hmm. At the minute, of course, it's like nigh on 50 degrees every day. So not many people, it's too hot for most people. And they tend to be working. So when I get home from work in the afternoon, I go and do my swimming.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the pool's deserted. It's just me, the lifeguard.
Yeah, you've been lucky.
But come the weekend, and it's the weekend now, yesterday I went to have a swim, and our pool, way too busy. Then there's another one around the corner across the way. So I went to that one, and there were just a couple of families in there, but they were kind of off to the side. Okay. So I start doing me swimming.
Yeah.
And they slowly drifted across. And I think to myself, when I'm in there with my family...
So you think you're in the right because you're lane swimming?
When I'm in with you guys and a lane swimming wanker comes in, it does get me back up a bit.
No, I'm going to agree with you. Because you're right. I feel like if that person's swimming and you're in there... I think you've got every right to be in the pool, you know, as much as the other person. But I think just a bit of etiquette. Just
you know me. How many times this weekend have I come home from the pool and said I'm not going in? There's too many people.
Yeah.
Now I could have gone in any of them times and claimed a lane.
I think as well. Though when people are around, it makes you more conscious as well. Just in general, doesn't it?
Definitely makes me conscious.
When I'm running, see, this is a similar thing. If I'm running and there's somebody walking and we're both on the same same part of the path, I feel like they should move across because I'm running. I'm in the middle of my exercise.
If they're seeing you.
Yeah.
If they're coming towards you, I do this when I'm out with the dog in the morning. There's runners out there. You've got to make a decision.
Yeah, but I feel like you should give way to the person that's doing the exercise. That's my.
But I also think
people don't. People will not budge, and it really pees me off. Because I feel like, hold on a minute, you can see that I'm in a zone. I'm running. You're walking at a slower pace. It makes no difference to you if you move across, but for me to move a little bit more, extra, I've got to find that bit of extra, you know. I agree with you.
But if you're running and you're coming up on somebody who's going in the same direction as you, different story.
Oh, no, I'm talking about that.
Oh, no. No. I don't agree with you. It's not my job to know that runners are coming up behind me.
Not behind. Sorry, I thought you meant if they're...
No, that's what I'm saying. If I'm going the same way as you...
Oh, no.
And I'm in front, you as the jogger... And because I don't know you're coming, I could be zigzagging as our dog does. He goes from one side as a piss, the other side as a piss.
Yeah.
He zigzags across the path.
Some runners do the, excuse me. But I don't do that.
I don't mind that because I know you're coming. But then if you're on there and you've got a little one and the little one's on the bike with a stabiliser, something like this, but I kind of agree with you. But then I also have major respect for anyone who's exercising.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you something else. That respect is tenfold for fat people exercising. Which I am, and
older.
Yeah, if I see somebody old and overweight, I saw a guy out a couple of days ago. He was doing the running motion with his arms and stuff like that. He was barely even walking. You know, he was barely lifting his feet off the floor. But I thought, well,
at least he's out there.
You're out in 45-degree heat, and you're out there doing it.
Yeah,
and fair play to you. My hat's off to you.
You went for a walk this morning at 7. I was running at 7. It was stupidly hot. Like, I actually normally I pin my fringe back. I left it, and by the time I came back, it looked like Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
It was stuck up.
But isn't it funny, as in middle age, you become all these different, like, you don't become all the things you weren't when you were younger, because I did tons of sports and exercise, as did you. But everyone finds a groove in middle age. It's the hill they die upon, you know what I mean? Whether it's cycling, fishing, golf, the gym, rugby.
Yeah, we've got a lot of friends that go to the gym and couples, they're loving it. We've got golfing friends, again, great. And I think you and I are we both are solitary exercises. We don't like doing it in groups. We don't like...
Well, I'm like that with the cycling because we're in with the cycling fraternity here. Yeah. Our friend organises one of the biggest races in the UAE, the biggest cycling race in the UAE. He's always trying to get me to go out cycling, but they go out cycling in these things, what is it, pelotons, the big groups of them. Yeah. And I am absolutely not interested.
Yeah.
I don't want the banter in the car park. I don't want to be stood there in lycra looking like a idiot. So, yeah, I'm far more into the solitary way of doing things.
I think we both are. But I think if we lived in the UK, we perhaps would do the hiking and walking together.
With you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's totally different. I don't mind it. I don't particularly like cycling with you because we're kind of slightly different standard of cycling. And again, I just want to get my head down and just get on with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm doing it for pleasure, but the swimming is weird. I really enjoy it. Getting there, I have stress about from the day before.
Yeah.
Once you see the difference in my mood once I've done that swim and come back because I've had some sun.
Yep.
I've got that, is it the endorphins that all gets released? And I feel great.
Yeah.
But before, you know, I'm panicking, I'm in a bad mood, how am I going to get there? Is there going to be people in the pool? Oh, it's going to take ages. It's an hour I could spend doing something else, you know.
Oh, well done. You're doing well. You're doing well.
I'm into it.
I actually think the eating is the harder part.
The eating is solid. Well, like, I don't want to say crash dieting. I'm not crash dieting, but I've given up chocolate. I'm not eating crisps. And through the week...
What will we have to talk about if we haven't got evening crisps to talk about?
And you realise how much food is your go-to for comfort. Look, something's just happened to us, which I think we'll probably talk about later. We've both come back into the house, and I could have just gone in the kitchen and grabbed a handful of them flapjacks, the Marks and Spencer's flapjacks, grabbed a bag of crisps, grabbed some chocolate out of the fridge.
Yeah, but see, for me, you know that I can go all day without eating.
Yeah.
My time of wanting to eat is like 8 o'clock at night, sat down, watching TV with the family. I just want to get out the chocolates and the crisps.
Yeah.
That's my weakness. That's
hard for me because I love doing that. And I think that's where I've put all the weight on. But this week it's been particularly difficult because that's when we do settle down and we want to do stuff like that. And I've not done it all week.
Yeah.
And then we had what people call it, I hate the word cheat day. For me, is up there with staycation. It's one of them modern bullshit terms.
No, I think you need to have some treats.
But I think we over-treated it yesterday, and I'm sad and I'm down on myself for doing it.
You should be, but yeah.
But what I don't want to do is I don't want to turn this into a diet podcast, but you need to know that I am hitting it hard at the minute.
So he's grumpier than usual.
So what I'm not doing is, because normally when I do something like this, I put it all on social media and stuff like that because I feel like, well, I won't pack it in. If I'm talking about it constantly, I won't pack it in. This time I'm not even doing that.
Yep.
I'm weighing myself morning and night. It's going well so far.
Well done.
Yeah. But I'm not going to harp on about it on here. It might just be a passing, it's going all right, I'm still doing it, I've fallen off the wagon, but that's going to be it.
Okay.
Right? But if you've got any suggestions for other kind of wankers, like golf wankers, what else did we say, running wankers?
Well, our daughter said sports car wankers.
She said that. There's truck wankers in the out here. A lot of people have got in big 4x4 Fall Guy trucks.
Yeah.
Barbecue wankers. Camping wankers.
Are we pizza oven wankers?
We are. I mean, we haven't done it for a long time, have we? But we've
Come
got...
round to ours for homemade pizza.
I don't know what people think when we say that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, first of all, they're getting great pizzas and no one's ever complained. People love them. But there is a bit of that middle-class tosspot thing about it, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah.
The good news is I don't think we've got any friends anymore. So
Pool parties. We used to have quite a lot of pool parties. But then I think people enjoyed that.
Well, of course they enjoy it. They come round, we lay food on, fridge is full of drinks for them.
Yeah. I am missing that this year.
I'm not, funnily enough. I like it this morning you'd been out for a run and I'd been out for my big walk. We both came back sweating cobs and we just both stripped off to us undies and jumped in pool. It was lush. Proper working class pool session, weren't it? So that's that. Some little bits of news then. It was in the news that northern accents could be wiped out in less than 50 years. This is a UK accent. So I've got a northern accent, you haven't, obviously.
Why?
Southeastern English is becoming the dominant speech, according to scientists.
Yeah.
Portsmouth and Cambridge universities found that differing pronunciations of words such as strut and farm will soon merge into the southeastern version.
Right, okay. That surprises me. Like, we have this discussion a lot because obviously I'm from the south, you're from the north.
Yeah.
Obviously the kids have got what I would call an expat accent, really.
Yeah. It's quite posh. Posh, bit of an American twang every now and then.
But they, in their mind, think that my accent's posher than yours.
Yeah.
But I don't think it is. But I guess it's closer to the Queen's English, if you like.
Definitely.
You know, I like your accent. And it's funny, like, we take the mickey out of each other for different words. Like I'm a bath, laugh, you're a bath.
Well, it says that here. Some words like bath are so strongly entrenched in the regional variants that they are likely to survive. when the northern accent dies out.
Okay.
The study predicts that the word back end, used to describe autumn in the north, will completely disappear within 20 years. I say back end for the end of something.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's not word. You do use back end quite a bit.
We're in the back end. We're watching the box set of Sopranos. We're at the back end.
I don't think I ever say back end.
Back end of the year.
Yeah, I don't think it's something. I mean, it's just not something I say.
Okay, so that's.
But we've got a lot of different words. Like we've said before, we could go on for hours about words that are different.
And this survey, I mean, I will be dead in less than 50 years, definitely. So that's one northern accent gone. And our children are definitely not picking it up from me. Try their hardest not to.
Betsy was trying to do one the other day. She was trying to do the northern accent, and actually she made herself sound even posher than normal.
Yes, we've been watching this video. This is an early recommendation. It's Rate My Takeaway.
Yeah.
And it's a big lad from Leeds, I think he's from. You must have seen him. He just goes to restaurants in the area. He takes a folding table and a camping chair, orders food, sits outside the cafe or restaurant. It tends to be massive burgers, massive pizzas and kebabs and stuff. And he's a really amiable guy to watch.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy.
And he just sits there basically eating tons of food.
Massive portions.
And he always starts, "Hello guys, back out on the road again." And the kids have been trying to do that. We had the big lab meat conversation.
Oh, lab meat.
Lab meat. So this is brought to our attention by Leo, our 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Who sometimes says things. What Leo does is hand grenade conversations.
Yeah.
He pulls the pin, he drops something in. Is it called gaslighting? What's the word? He's basically trying to piss everybody off in the room.
He wants a reaction, doesn't he?
That's what he wants, a reaction.
He wants a reaction. And especially now with how the world is changing on people's views of everything, and the world's becoming a bit more liberal and stuff like that, they're loving seeing what our opinions are.
Yeah. And they're at that age when they're testing us anyway. But as we often mention, we're vegetarians. It's the vegetarian bell. And Leo is as well, but he kind of eats a bit of fish. He's a pescatarian, isn't he? So he was telling us about this thing. Now, I've got a bit of a spiel about it here. Cultured beef, that's what it's called,
Right.
is created by painlessly harvesting muscle cells from a living cow. Scientists then feed and nurture the cells so they multiply to create muscle tissue, which is the main component of the meat we eat. It is biologically exactly the same as meat tissue that comes from a cow, but has not come from a living creature.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Leo's saying, will you eat that? Because that's vegetarian.
Well, he didn't say it's vegetarian. He's saying it's not. He's saying it's not
It's
come
not
from
meat.
Yeah.
So he's saying, by definition, it's vegetarian because it's not come from a living animal.
Yeah. But then we had a discussion. Well, no, vegetarian means you don't eat animal products.
Yeah.
And it is an animal product.
No, it's not. So we've had this back and forth about it. I put a vote on this on my daily vote that I do in my day job. And pretty much almost 70% of people said it's not vegetarian.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd be able to eat it because it's weird because we're now eating these plant-based burgers,
Well, what
which
am I
are
like with
very
them?
meaty. You are...
I struggle
they're
with
too
eating.
meaty for you.
Yeah. And then and I know that they're made from.
But these ones are going to be meat.
Yeah.
I mean, they are meat. They'll be bloody. They'll be meaty.
Yeah. No.
It's not for me.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't even eat the plant-based ones that taste too meaty. I don't miss meat, so I don't.
I don't miss it at all.
You don't.
No, not at all. So glad I don't have it anymore. I know you're not going to like this, but I don't miss alcohol either. At all.
I do.
Sharp intake of breath
I
from
do.
you there. No, I don't.
So something else that's happened this week, the UK has now taken the UAE off its red list.
Yeah, which we're watching with a keen eye because we're taking Leo back to university in Bristol. He's starting uni. We're going to be leaving in a month. Maybe less than a month to take him back. So
we've got a decision to make, basically. We either go straight to the... We've got friends who left just a few days ago.
Yeah.
They've gone to the UK and they are now in hotel quarantine.
Yeah.
We've also got friends that have also left and they have gone the island route.
And we've got friends who've done Spain, Malta, France, all manner of different places. And if you're listening to this from anywhere that's not the UAE...
I don't think people understand. I don't think our families back at home, I don't think they understand how difficult it is for everybody out here. It's so stressful trying to find the best way to get home. And then once you've made that decision, you've got so much work to plan to get there.
If you're only talking to British expat,
Yeah.
this is the conversation. You're not talking about anything else. I had a conversation with my boss at work, and he was telling me what it's like getting back into Australia.
Again.
And that sounds like an absolute nightmare as well.
Yeah.
So I think everyone's got their own version of this. And if you're an expat like we are, you know, you're used to going home at least, I would say, yearly or every couple of years.
So I think if you're in the UK, it's, shall we go on holiday or not go on holiday? If we go on holiday, then, you know...
Yeah.
It's,
But for us, it's a bit more of an essential.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest, if Leo wasn't going to university, we wouldn't even be thinking about it.
it's just not worth it.
We wouldn't be going on holiday.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be thinking about flying home. So that's huge in the news at the moment. But boy, the conversation is boring me.
Yeah. No, I get it. And
Because it's like the start of COVID. You know, when you were watching at the start of COVID, when everyone's watching the figures every day and everyone's watching Boris and Chris Whitty and that doing this stuff. And remember, I got to a point, I was listening to podcasts about Corona. This is pre-vaccines. They're saying it's going to be 4 years for a vaccine. And I just became obsessed with it. And then reached a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I did the opposite. I just switched off from it. And with this, every time there's a little glimmer of something, so they'll put a country in the UK, they'll say, right, Spain's on the green list.
yeah.
Everybody at home's thinking we can go to Spain on holiday, but everybody is thinking, I can go to Spain on my way home.
But
within no time, that's changed to amber.
yeah, well, there were people that were friends of ours that were stuck in a certain place.
Yeah.
When it changed, then they had to go somewhere else and do further days.
I can't even think. I mean, we are getting to the stage of having to start planning this
We
journey
have to
now.
make a decision. And the other thing is, wherever we go, we're going to have at least 5 tests each, right?
Yeah.
Just even looking at that, like I found some packages where you can get 3 tests for 44 quid. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not as bad as I've seen. But then other people are saying, no, you buy this test and it costs £99 for 1 test. And I'm like, well, how do I know which tests I'm meant to get then? Which ones am I, even that in itself is
And
like
the quarantine hotels have gone back up.
by a load.
Oh, look, we've slipped into it. We've slipped into the conversation, and it's a daily conversation.
Yeah.
I have to, because I sit where I work in the radio, before I go into my show, I sit for a couple of hours next to the news team, and it's all they talk about.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to them for that, because it's the job, but I just can't hear it anymore.
I know, I get it. But it has been the biggest thing out here, like at the minute, just trying to find ways to get back to your families.
Genuinely can't wait till October.
I know what you mean.
And
although
Leo's going to be at uni, we will have done all this. I hate flying, so I don't even want to do it anyway. I'll have spent all the money. I can start worrying about Christmas and rent and things like that. I just want it over.
I have had a couple of wake up in the middle of the night panic attacks when I realise how little time we have left with Leo, though.
Yeah. So I apologise for having the conversation, but it is huge. It has been huge.
Yeah.
Since the last podcast, a lot of things have changed. And I guarantee before the next podcast, things will change again.
Definitely.
Wife's whinge.
So I just want to start by saying we're going to change this up a little bit.
Yeah.
We've decided, I mean, this will sound a bit soapy here, but we don't have enough to moan about with each other.
Yeah.
Right? It's sometimes when we're doing the podcast regularly, it's difficult to constantly be coming up with something that the other one's doing wrong. Hand on heart, we get on like house on fire, don't we?
Yeah.
But every now and then somebody will do something. It's fun for the podcast to have a bit of a bitch about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to broaden this up to other things that us off. Other things that make us cross.
Right, yeah.
Other things that make us angry. The way this pyramid scheme is going to work is at the top of the pyramid is always going to be things that we do to upset each other.
Yeah.
If we've got one, we'll do it.
Yeah.
If we don't, it can be something else.
Okay.
So wife's whinge, Laura, take it away.
All right. Well, it's about you.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I've got a high. That's fine.
So it's actually going back on old whinges because if you remember,
I know. Is it not going to be the hose pipe?
It is the hose pipe.
You saw me this morning.
No. You can't just say this morning, right? You had been so good at putting it away.
Yeah.
And the towels were going on the dryer, not on the chairs. Well.
And that was when I wasn't exercising.
Yeah.
And I wasn't walking the dog.
Yeah.
Which nobody else in this house can be bothered to do, it seems.
Yeah.
Right? So my morning routine, which is already packed before I go to work, has now got the added, I'm going to say it's an hour. It's got an added hour of walking the dog and then me going doing some exercising and needing an extra shower. And the garden bit Like, I want one of you guys to do this.
Yeah, but, right, I don't want you to, I told you, I don't want you to wind the hose up or anything like that. I just want it so it's not dragged across
I totally agree. But you saw the state of me this morning. I am dripping in sweat. I've got no motivation left. I'm fed up. I just want to get in the aircon. I want to get in the shower. And you keep skipping past the fucking thing I'm saying. Why can't somebody else do it?
I do walk the dog.
I'm not on about the dog. I'm on about the garden, the hose pipe. Why can't anybody else in this house? I've got to go to work every morning. There's people in this house who apparently we're not allowed to wake up before 10 o'clock these days. Why can't somebody else do it?
I'll happily do it. I don't mind doing it.
You don't do it though.
No, but you didn't. You've never said.
The chores list at the minute for our kids is so minimal. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they need to be done first thing in this heat. And I actually think...
Yeah, they do need to be done first thing.
But I even think by the time I'm up, it's too
I agree. Today I went out at 7 o'clock, which is really late for me. I'm normally out when it's dark in the morning. And I hated every second of it because I felt so sweaty and miserable. Right? I had to do it because I'm not going to skip out on the exercise. But it was absolutely horrible. And then to get back and think, as I come in the gate, I've got to do garden now. And what I do sometimes is I forget. So I'll go and have my shower and get myself all cleaned up and everything. And it's like, I've not done garden. Mm-hmm. It'd be quite nice if somebody else in this house took into consideration how much I do.
I'll do it, but I'll probably do it in the evening.
Oh.
And apparently that's better for the plants anyway.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Well, you'll notice though, you didn't want me to hang my bikini on the door. It's never been on the door since.
You've barely had bikinis on since then.
Oh, yes, I have.
You've barely had bikinis on. So I agree, but this comes with a lot of baggage. By the time I finish watering plants, I'm so out and I just chuck it down.
It's
I
just
want to get in.
one little bit. You just got to flick it across. That's all you got to do.
You know what? Picking the dog up is just one little trip round the garden. But again, I'm the one who's doing it all the time now. And walking the dog is just one little lap round the lake. But if you said to people in our family, just walk around, don't do world's smallest fucking violin. If it's only one little thing with a hose pipe, fucking do it when you get up.
All right.
You know when you get up and I've done 3 hours at work.
But I've got a list of jobs
at
as well.
Work.
Yeah.
You will get one of the fucking kids to do it.
They're summer holidays.
Yes, they're doing nothing.
All right.
A little bit of something's not going to hurt them. Summer holidays for Betsy, who's 9. Yes, she should be able to wake up in the morning and do whatever she wants all day. But with a 16 and an 18-year-old kid in the house, they are not children now. They are part of the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't get that. You're about to send one of these fucking morons out into the world.
No. Right, to be fair, if I ask either of them to do a job, they'll do them. One of them will moan, the other one will just do it. Yeah.
Well, actually, no. I'm going to take issue with that. The other one won't just do it because that's why I'm currently doing it. Because the other one was supposed to do the poos and the dog walk and it just never happened. And I've started doing it, A, because I feel bad for the dog, and B, there's nothing worse than swimming with a line of fucking dog nuggets along the side of the pool. So, you fucking do it.
Husband's hump.
Right. I didn't have one about you. I've got one about you, but it happened too long ago.
Okay, let's pass over it.
But I'm going to mention it really briefly.
Go on then.
Because it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move on to something else.
Go on then.
You did a new fart last week. Do you remember?
Oh, what do you mean, smelly or?
Do you not remember when you did that fart in room and it didn't smell like anybody's fart in our house? It smelled like a fishing harbour at the seaside.
I told you, it's long COVID. It everything. It is.
The excuses you use. It was shocking. It was bizarre. Yeah. The smell of it was bizarre.
Everything smells different. Like my personal sweat smells different.
Personal sweat.
No, I mean, it like...
But what else did you do? You tried to sneak it out, right?
What am I meant to say? What is it I meant to sing? Didn't you bring in a word? I can't remember what word it was.
It was the guy, we had a letter about it. What did he ask her to do? He asked his partner to do something.
To say a word.
So that's just a quickie.
All right.
It was absolutely rancid, but it wasn't rancid like, that smells really bad of poo like Trumps tend to do.
Don't
it was
say
rancid,
that.
but rancid like an alien had done it. And it hit me, and then it went round on the aircon and hit our daughter, and we were just like, my God, but you tried to sneak it out. So my thing, and this is how we're going to do this from now on, we can do it about anything.
Okay.
Is about people who are late.
Oh, right.
Because this has just happened to us pre-podcast.
Yep.
We went for a meeting.
Yep.
Now, this is our day off today.
Yeah.
it's the last day of the weekend. I mean, it's only 2 days, but it's Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm back at work tomorrow, so I'm always a bit more tense on a Saturday. And then I'm dieting, so...
Oh, yes, it's fun. It's fun
Yeah.
Saturdays.
Instead of just laying on settee and eating a full Swiss roll or something, I'm miserable.
Swiss roll?
I don't know.
Swiss
It's first thing
roll?
that came to me mind. So, we've been for a meeting today,
Yeah.
and it was an hour round trip,
Yep.
right? As a courtesy, we went to where the other person is.
Yeah.
We didn't say, oh, meet us halfway, or you come here. We went there. They suggested the time,
Yep.
not me. We get there. There's a couple of staff. They're like, what are you? We're not home. What, you know? And, oh, no, we're meeting. We're meeting the boss.
And you double check the time and everything
Yeah.
else. Yep. Right.
Sit down. Now, you've got to give people a bit of grace, right? Although, I think if you're late, you're a You've got to give people a bit of grace. There's traffic, things like that.
And Dubai, people are known for being...
That.
No, they are, though. Like, so
Yeah, no, but I don't go with that. I don't go with that. I'm not saying, oh, well, just because we're in a different time zone, everyone can suddenly start being late. So anyway, I don't instantly text, hey, it's 12 o'clock, we're here.
Yeah.
I give it 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, we're here. We're waiting. This is on WhatsApp. Grey ticks.
Didn't get the blue
Right.
ticks, did you?
Leave it another 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ask the people who are there, and they're like, oh, no, he's not due until later. Oh, right.
And it's awkward because they don't really want us sat
No,
there.
they don't even know why we're there.
Yeah.
So I send another message. Hey, we don't have too long. Are you nearby? Something like that. Nothing. So we leave it
25 minutes?
25 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, I'm thinking, you don't deserve a meeting with me. If you don't have the respect to, A, text me
Yeah.
and say you're not there.
Well, the thing is, right, sometimes there are reasons for being late. You just can't avoid, you know, like you say, traffic, whatever.
But there's absolutely no reason for not messaging.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely say, really sorry, running late. Totally forgot we're having a meeting.
And by the way, as much as I hate people being late, I am a waiter. Not a waiter who brings drinks. I am someone who waits.
Yeah.
Before technology, when I was in my late teens, my friend Julian, who I used to be in a band with, was 4 hours late to meeting me in town. You know, I used to meet your friends in town.
Oh,
He
really?
was 4 hours late, and I waited, right? This is standing on a street corner for 4 hours. And the
Could've made
reason he
money.
was 4 hours late is because he had
Oh, really?
So
was that an excuse, though?
he'd had chronic diarrhea. He was 4 hours late. I waited for 4 hours in town.
So did he... Marlon said, did he turn up?
He
You
turned
just
up
said-
in the end, yeah.
Well,
But
Leo's got a friend like that. He said he would meet him at 1 the other day and he turned up at 2. That's good for this particular friend.
yeah, but that kind of crap does my head in.
Yeah.
So that's my husband's hump today. You
No,
know.
I agree. And I think in today's situation, it was unprofessional because the other person was the one calling the meeting.
Yeah.
Wanted
Who's
the
been
meeting.
bugging us to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Right? And it's made me, I just drove back and I thought, I'm writing it off,
yeah.
you know,
It's-
which is detrimental to us, but I thought,
When it's your mates, I think it's annoying, but you can't, it almost becomes a joke thing.
and you've
but
got to own it. But
Yeah.
mates or business, no apology.
yeah, that's a bit
The text that came back, oh, I got tied up. Not like,
really sorry.
really sorry, guys.
Yeah,
You know, so we had an hour long on my bloody day off.
yeah.
We've wasted an hour. So we came back and the plan was to come in and do the podcast straight away, but I had to go and play Fortnite and shoot some virtual people
Yeah.
to get it out of my system. And now we're in here. So that's it.
Yeah,
Done, said,
I agree with you.
we're in agreement.
Would you rather?
Right. Would you, and I believe both of these have happened to you, would you rather fall over in public or fart loudly in public?
Fall over.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
If it was a painless fall. The last time I fell,
You-
oh, give over.
you do the funniest falls. You've done it. Do you remember when we went to take Leo's computer in and you fell over the...
Oh,
No.
but that's not fair because that was black marble, unmarked. Look, it's illegal.
Oh, no. And then, in fairness, that woman, she was on, like...
She came in and shouted at the guy who was on the desk in the
security,
building.
she was going mental.
It was in the middle of Dubai in a skyscraper sort of thing, and it was outside. It was night time. It wasn't well lit, and there was a black marble, like a 3-4 inch step out of nowhere.
I know, and I felt for you, and I have to do that thing because
I'm carrying bloody computers and stuff.
you did it then, and then you did it another time.
The other time was the worst
when
one.
we were going down the steps.
We were going down steps and we were all walking together, concrete steps, but we got masks on. And I have vertigo and I can't see down.
You can't,
I can't put a foot forward.
And
I'm
the
really
funny thing
panicking.
was, I'd literally said 2 minutes ago, earlier to Honey, I said, you know, when you wear masks, you can't see downwards, so it's really hard to walk down steps. And then you fell. It was funny.
But it were like bar skittles. Because I fell into all three of you, four of you.
Oh, yeah, no, because I tried to save you.
Knocked everybody down, but I went down really bad on my wrist. So if the question is, because it's because of humiliation, would I rather fall down in front of people but not hurt myself, or do a loud fart in front of people and not shit myself, then the option would be falling down.
Yeah.
Because, look at me. There was a point in your life where falling down were dead embarrassing. Now I'm just like... I'm old.
Well, I did a really loud fart.
Right?
When the Euros were on and we had friends around. Remember, I told you. I think something like, I don't know, some bad bit happened in the football where it wasn't going our way, and I did the big and I leant forward and almost touched my toes. And as I did that, this loud fart came out. But luckily, I think because everybody was groaning at the time, nobody noticed, and I'm looking around the room.
I can't believe you got away with it.
I don't honestly think I've got away. It didn't smell, it was just noise. But yeah.
So which is yours then?
I think had people noticed, I would be really embarrassed, I think. But yeah, no, I think...
but look, doing it as home with friends around, it'd be really embarrassing but kind of funny.
Yeah.
But what about doing it...
Oh, I think probably falling over.
In business.
Yeah, no, I think probably falling over, but yeah.
Recommendations.
Plenty to recommend because we've been slack with the podcast the last week. Mm-hmm. So I'll kick you off with, if you're on Apple Music, look for the Yacht Rock Essentials playlist. Yacht Rock. So this is sort of easy listening, late 70s, 80s music. Africa by Toto, Hold the Line, also by Toto. I'm having a bit of a mental block on it now, but we had the playlist on a couple of times, and it's just a real nice, fun playlist to have on when it's great background. So it's called Yacht Rock Essentials on Apple Music.
Yeah, I like it.
Over to you.
The Chris Packham.
The Walk That Made Me.
The Walk That Made Me. I can't tell you how good it is.
This is the naturalist, is that what he's called? Yeah. Animal lover, Asperger's sufferer.
Yeah.
Used to be he was basically the punk rock kids TV presenter when we were kids. He had blonde spiky hair.
Really Wild Show is where he started.
And he's one of the most interesting guys to watch on television.
He's from my hometown. So I've kind of grown up with him. I've been to events where he's presented stuff.
Yeah.
I had a massive crush on him when he did the Really Wild Show with his bleached spiky hair.
Yeah. And you've claimed him as well, haven't you? You've got that protectiveness about him, because when I said, I were into him when I was younger, you were like, no, you were not.
No, because I feel like when
you've not introduced him to me like I introduced hummus to you.
No, I know that, but then I feel like I go on about him quite a lot. Like he did the vegan January thing. He's a vegetarian, he's not vegan, but when he was doing that, I was following it closely and learning things about the world and vegan. I'm not saying for a second that there is not an imbalance in the scales of who likes Chris Packham the most. No, it's not about that. But I feel like I annoy the rest of the family when I talk about him.
There's way more reasons that you annoy us than that.
No, and then obviously I used to teach children with autism and Asperger's. So I've got...
You got an in?
Yeah. So
I think I win there because, as you know...
You are a bit autistic, yes. Right. So...
Awful.
You, in fact, recommended this program to me.
Yeah, I'd spotted it.
Yeah.
So, as a technical description, it's Chris doing a walk, holding a selfie stick with a 360-degree camera on. So, no camera crew, although there are drone shots in it.
Yeah.
And he's walking along, and he's just talking, but with these 360-degree cameras, like we have in the studio here.
Yeah.
In the edit, you can point it to anything. So he doesn't have to turn it around. He's just walking along talking, and he says, and that tree over there is a tree that we used to do this in. And then the shot can automatically turn to it. So it's a revolutionary documentary.
Yes.
Because it's just him walking along. Now, he's such a well-known public figure that everyone he bumps into along the way...
Yeah. Everyone that is from Hampshire knows that he lives in Hampshire.
Yeah.
So...
And I'm guessing most people are proud of him down there. This documentary is not a nature documentary.
Well, it's funny because I didn't know this, but when we started watching it, and 5 minutes in, I'm thinking, because Honey sat with us, and I'm thinking, oh, like spring, Spring Watch.
Yeah,
we'll watch it for 5 minutes, and everybody's bored because it's all about nature, and to start with, that's what I thought it was going to be, and I'm thinking, oh, everyone's going to be bored of this in 5. We're going to have to turn this off. And then you suddenly said, I am loving this, and I went, really?
Yeah.
And then it changed. It changed into something else.
So it became about the surroundings. So this is a walk that Chris used to do regularly as a kid, from Eastleigh in Hampshire to Winchester. Mm-hmm. It's a 10-mile walk. Yeah. It's along a beautiful river, and a river that's got, what was the name of it? What's the name of the straight bit? Basically,
it's the River Itchen.
It's the River Itchen, but it's got this other bit called, it's a weird word like document or something.
Right.
And basically it's a canal that runs alongside it so that barges could get up and down there. And he meets some very interesting people along the way, but he also reminisces about huge points in his life. I almost don't want to say any more about this because you'll see what we mean when you watch it. It's so special. So if you can watch it, it's called Chris Packham, The Walk That Made Me.
It's just beautiful in so many ways.
I think if that show doesn't win a BAFTA,
really,
I'll be amazed, because it's one of the best things I've watched on television.
No, it's for me, and I
didn't want it to end.
We've had to explain to Leo, who's going into filmmaking, you've got to watch this because of that. And
when you think of the complexity and number of people involved in making some TV shows, now you only have to look at the credits to see that this one had top side of 50 people on it, but the walk itself didn't.
It was raw.
Check it out. Got a podcast for you, Simon Armitage podcast. Simon Armitage is current poet laureate for the Queen in the UK, but he's also a northern lad.
So you've got an in with him?
We've got an in with him. He's a friend of my uncle's, but he's the poet laureate as well. But he's a Yorkshireman, so he sounds a bit like me. But he started this podcast called The Poet Laureate Has Gone to His Shed. It's on BBC Sounds. He has some really interesting guests on.
Chris Packham.
And it's just a great listen. You learn something on it. It's a great listen. So it's called The Poet Laureate Has Gone to His Shed. Nice. One for the family, Jungle Cruise, which I think you had your arm up your back. You didn't want to watch. I really wanted to watch it with Betsy Pearl, and we ended up all watching it as a family. The reviews for it, it's not a stinker by any means, but the reviews were a bit so-so. I thought it was a great film. I thought it was a really enjoyable romp through the jungle, through the Amazon. It was daft. It had some massive names in it. A lot of fun.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, I'm just not like, the Jumanji type films. They're not really my cup of tea, but obviously I sat and watched it. It was a family film.
Well, we watched Vivo last night, which I think by comparison was rubbish. It did not hold me at all. And I've been watching a lot of kids' films lately.
It
was too much like Coco.
The first 10 minutes.
In fact,
I really enjoyed.
It's exactly the same as Coco.
There's a really lovely song in it, though. There is one song
There's always nice songs.
And it's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Manuel. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad, but Jungle Cruise, which has got a bit more panned by the critics, I thought it was a good film.
It was all right. I
sensed it would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got Jack Whitehall in it, who's bloody awful in everything as far as I'm concerned, and he wasn't even that bad in it.
I agree. You
know what the big question everyone's saying is, was it right for him, a straight man, to play a gay man? I'm not going to dig into it now, just in case, but that's the big question kicking around on the back of a kid's film.
I think, yes, it's fine, because it's fine the other way.
Let's move on.
Compliments.
This is not going to be here next week unless we've got one. Perhaps we could just throw them in. But we're going to start something else next time we do a podcast.
Yep.
Episode 21. But let's just finish it, shall we?
Finish the compliments on a compliment.
Yeah. I'm going to say thank you so much for how much you invest in me trying to diet and get healthier. No, because I would just do it on my own. Right?
Yeah.
I would just eat less than everybody else.
Made me teary.
No, but the other day, you did like a proper shopping list, working out what I'm going to eat and stuff like that. And I don't think you ever think, oh, here he goes again. Because I think when I reach this point that I'm in it with both feet. I can fall off the wagon.
No, but the thing is, right, I think I feel really emotional. People look at you and they just see the fat guy. You know what I mean? And I know how much effort you put in, and I know like it's easy for people just that don't have problem with their weight to stand there and make jokes, or to go, oh, has he tried this? Has he done this exercise? You know, like they don't understand. Like it's a big deal for you. Like when it was lockdown, you were walking 20k a day, 20k. Like that's huge, and people didn't know that. And you were doing that, and we were eating healthy. You haven't drunk alcohol for a year and a half. So if other people did that, they would have lost weight.
Yeah.
Clearly for you, it's difficult to lose weight, and it's easy for you to put on weight, right? Like I'm quite lucky. I can lose weight quickly.
And I get that because I used to be like that.
Yeah.
I was up until probably being 30 years old. I think my metabolism must have changed, which it does to people.
Yeah.
How many people do you know from school who now look,
Yeah.
I've got big bellies and stuff like that? But for me, I think because I have depression, I comfort eat.
Yeah, but I genuinely, like, I think I eat as much as you do. If we're sat in the evening having sweet stuff and stuff like that, I think we do. And a part of me is that, you know, that's our enjoyment. That's our special time.
And I feel like we've earned it by then.
Yeah. And
certainly when we get back to doing school runs and all that rubbish.
yeah. So I know how difficult it is. And I'm obviously trying to do it with you. And the thing is, no matter what your weight is or how your body is, people have always got their own insecurities. But yeah, I know I'm really proud of you, of how you know.
This is the only way I can do it. I can't do it half-arsed. So I've gone through a week of so few calories every day, but eating and eating healthy with no snacks.
I don't know if you've noticed, the kids are actually being really supportive of it as well.
I have been drinking apple cider vinegar every morning. And I don't even know if this is a bloody thing. You might just be joking.
No, I mean, look, there's...
I'm drinking green tea. That's what I've got here.
Yeah.
I am doing the apple cider vinegar, which is absolutely... I love vinegar on chips, obviously. But it's horrible. I'm doing that every day. Swimming about between 1 kilometre and 1.5 kilometres every day.
Yeah.
Doing a couple of big walks a day. And keeping my hand out of snacks. When you see me on a day-to-day basis, you won't know I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Somebody in the news team came around with some cakes the other day, and I'm like, oh, no, thanks. But I said that anyway.
Yeah, this is the thing. You do. You know, and you're not somebody who goes for coffees, and genuinely, you're a vegetarian, you don't drink alcohol.
It's not fair.
We eat pretty healthy. I feel like it isn't fair. No, I do. I feel like you don't...
But my point here is that you could... I've tried it so many times and it's been successful. Mm-hmm. You know, there are times when I've lost like 3 stone, over 20 kg was a big one that I lost. But there are times when we've tried it and it's just not worked. So this time, I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying it's not. But the fact that you didn't just poo-poo it, I think you can tell how serious this is for me, how down I am about it and how hard it is. So I do appreciate that you're on board.
Okay. Well, I think... my compliment is
you said it.
Same thing.
You don't have to think of a good one.
No. It was the same thing. It's like, you know, I'm proud of you and I know how difficult it is.
That's going to be the end of the podcast, I think. So next week or next time we do one, but it's going to be in less. It's not going to be in more than a week. We're going to have a couple of new features in there. If you're not telling your friends about this podcast, then please do if you enjoy it, because I know the people who do listen seem to love it.
And if you've got any suggestions of anything that you think we should talk about,
any subject that pops up, if you have a discussion at home with your husband or wife or whatever, or a disagreement or anything in life, hey, definitely things that wind you up. Like the thing today about people being late, it's literally just happened to us, and that I'd said to Laura in the week, we should start doing it like that, because
and we all do it. We as couples. So you'll go somewhere or do something and something will pee you both off and you'll bitch in the car afterwards.
If my week is 100% of being angry or mad about things, I don't mean all the time. I mean, if you count that as 100%, you are probably genuinely 2% of what pisses me off across a week.
That's good.
So that 98% is now going to be brought into the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know, but we make it like on the podcast, so it's 100% because that's all the whinge and the hump is.
Yeah.
So yeah, a few new things next week. We're going to try a couple of things as well, but you can get in touch. The details are in the information for the podcast. Always great to hear from you. So it's been nice to be back in recording, hasn't it?
Yep. And it's exam results this week coming up.
We'll be talking about that next time then. And it's been a long one again, but I'm not bothered. See you next time, everybody.
Bye.
The end.